This is called Make It, Break It.
Mm.
I was flying my drone earlier today
Mm-hmm.
and used this as like a backing track to flying around. It was pretty cool.
Good beat.
Everybody, I'm here with First Sergeant Cuffie, retired one each. I can't wait. We're going to have a good time tonight. I'm excited. I want to talk to you about a few things as we get started. I'd like to, share a couple things with you. First thing I'd like to share, if you don't mind, is look, these are our donors. They're the ones that kind of keep us going. Colonel Lindsley, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Mr. and Mrs. McKnight, thank you so much. All of our basic donors, you can see them listed there. Our senior donors, hey, Sergeant Major Fernandez, I love you. I love you. I love you, Sergeant Major. Thank you. I wish you'd be on the show, but you refuse, but you keep sending money. Thank you, Sergeant Major. I appreciate it. Diaz, dude, I love you. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited about the stuff you're going to produce, man. And, as always, man, Kirkendall, Allen, Shrum, man, you guys are always there helping out. I really, really love it. Williams, Jackman, Calderon, Hackey, Evans, Cobos, Wino, Ridgeway. Hackey, get with me, please. I want to get you scheduled. Thanks for our master rated donors. I'm here tonight with First Sergeant retired Frederick Antonio Cuffie. Cuff Dog, that's what he's known by. He hasn't seen this yet. So I'm gonna play it for him. This is a tribute slideshow that we've done for the Cuff Dog himself, First Sergeant retired Cuffie. So here you go. Check it out. First Sergeant, I hope you love it. Superman Soul. That's what the name of that song was. I'm here with the Cuff Dog, Frederick Cuffie himself. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing over there? How you doing?
It is so exciting to talk to you and to share some time. We're trying to tell stories about our time in service and our lives that are timeless and that our loved ones can be proud of, and that and we're putting them on a thumb drive and a coin and putting it in a package that we're proud of, and hope that that your relatives will fight over it one day as a treasured time in remembrance of you and the stories that you've told and the memorances that you did and your service to your country, right? You were a hero for us, for the soldiers that stood next to you in formation, and for the ones that you led, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Where are you from?
I'm originally from a place called Hartsville, South Carolina. You blink your eye, you'll miss it. Real small little town, not too far from Darlington and Florence area. About an
Yeah.
hour away from Columbia.
Yeah, I know where that's at. I know where that's at. Kind of considered almost mid-state, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, where you were born in the early 70s?
Yeah, I was born in 1973 in June. So
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. And so what was growing up like?
Growing up was like, grew up poor, but what we had as far as love and family, it meant more than money. I learned how to work at a young age. Used to cut grass with lawnmower with a milk jug of gasoline, going around yards, and
Me
with
too.
a weed eater going around trimming hedges, clean out yards, bushes, shingling roofs, even plowing fields. I did all that. So you know, I'm not a stranger to hard work.
Right. So you grew up in a time where you wanted to earn money. You wanted to work.
Oh yes, oh yes. I
So
mean, money
what
in my pocket. I had power to do things.
right, right, okay. Yeah. So money brought power.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it. Right, right. There's a lot of things that, like, for I'll tell you, as a kid, for me, was good grades brought power in a lot of ways, right?
Oh yeah.
It wasn't, but I had to go earn money. I got a little allowance and stuff, and I know what you mean. But also one of the things that I guess what I was thinking in my head, also good grades brought power. Were you a studious kind of guy? Or were you a rough and tumble kind of person? Were you into sports?
Well, the only two things that I really did when I was in high school, I ran track and the band. So I was on the marching band for 6 years, and I ran track for 2 years. And
I saw you hurdling, right? That's you on the in the hurdles, right?
yeah, that's when I was 145, soaking wet.
Woo! Golly, you was splayed out right there, man. You was getting it. You was getting it. Was your hurdles your sport, or what was your event?
Leg of the relay, high hurdles, and the intermediate hurdles. Those are my
Dude,
sports.
that's great, man. I tried to do the hurdles, man. I would run up to it and say, "Oh, that's enough. I don't even try." Oh, now I'll do the obstacle courses and all the stuff, but the hurdles never was really part of the obstacle course. Like, you know what I mean? Not like we're talking about for the. I mean, that was a. I mean, you had to jump high, and y'all would run fast and jump high at the same time. I mean, it was like an art almost. I thought, right?
Oh yes, because when you're doing the regular hurdles, you got to get like 3 steps in between, and then you glide over the hurdle. People jump over the hurdle, and that's when they get injuries. Or some people will step in front of the hurdle and push it forward, and then it can fall into somebody else's lane, and now you're trying to battle that as well. Plus, you're trying to go over your hurdle at the same time. It can be a mess. It's a
Oh
challenge.
yeah.
It's a
Oh
challenge.
yeah. Did you win your races, or were you, just one of the guys, or tell me about that?
Well, I ran a couple of races. Hey, I couldn't win them all, but I did.
All right,
I
right.
ran. I won a couple of them. Oh yeah.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you, at that level, honestly, and at every level, there ever since I've realized that those willing to compete were the ones you wanted to be with, right? When you were in the army, you wanted to hang with the ones that would go, okay, I'll go to the stupid little board. Okay, you want me to go? I'll go do it, and those were the soldiers that were really doing good. The people in the high school sports and the band program and that kind of stuff. Those were the ones you wanted to be around. What instrument did you play?
I played the trombone.
Oh, so I guessed right. Oh wow, tell me about that. So I always thought, because you gotta hear the note, because you adjust it, right? There's no valves. I mean, so you got to be a musician to play that of all instruments, right?
Oh yes. So the sliding of the using the slider going back and forth, you have to slide to certain positions to get that certain tone.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So did you play just the marching band, or were you in the jazz band and all the other stuff?
I was in the marching band and I was in the wind ensemble. So we would go in and go to theaters and we'll play as a school. I mean, as a class, that kind of thing. Some people like, well, how you know classical music? Well, I mean, I was in the band, so that's some of the things that we played.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? So, like being exposed to those kinds of things in school is valuable, isn't it?
Oh yes, oh yes, because that's where I started to learn how to be part of a team. Those kind of things, helping out each other and getting into that spirit of being in a group.
Right. Yeah. Look, marching around together, you know when somebody's messing up, right? It makes you pay attention real quick. It's like, I'm not messing up because I'm not getting clowned like Charlie over here. Yeah, you pay attention. It's pretty cool. It is a neat kind of thing, and a lot of people don't get that if you don't play team sports, or march in a band or do any of those kinds of things. Did you fit in with other kids, or did you get in trouble, or did you make good grades? Were you the most talkative? Were you the voted most cutest kid in the room, or what?
Well, I can say this much. I could fit in. I didn't have the best grades. I didn't have the worst either. So I was
Yeah.
that middle of the road child, and I stayed like under the radar. But I was kind of like the class clown, those kind of things. So I could crack a joke here or there like that. And when we go on band trips and stuff like that to go to other schools, I'd be the one in the back clowning and everybody laughing and joking. So I keep the party going.
Amen. Amen. So, tell me about, family around you, brothers and sisters and mom and dad and stuff. What, tell me about all that.
Well, my mom was there majority of the time. My dad, he lived in Connecticut. And like I said, I have two sisters. One, she still lives in South Carolina. The other one, she lives in Connecticut with her husband. And like I said, we have a good time. I mean, we don't argue fuss. My mom, she passed away back in 2004. God bless her soul. My dad, he's still alive. He's 75 years old, and he keeping it moving. I mean, the warranty ain't ran out on him yet, so he's still making moves. But that, like I said, me and him talk on a regular basis. That
That's
kind of.
great.
Oh yeah.
Yay. Good, good, good. Do you remember a particular tradition as a kid, something that you really look forward to, or maybe even something that you wish you could avoid?
Well, I can tell you what I like particularly as a kid. We always had family reunions. And when we do have the family reunions, you don't have nobody fighting or fussing, nothing like that. That's one thing about my family I could say, particular on my dad's side, is that we come together and we have a great time. My dad is a twin, and there was seven of them. Six of them are still alive. His sister is the youngest. She's 65. The oldest is 93. So only
Wow.
one has gone, but everybody else, they talk to each other and they see each other, everything.
Where's these reunions happen at?
Sometimes South Carolina, sometimes Georgia. We pick different places, or even on a cruise. So we do that periodically throughout years. But since the pandemic, that kind of shut it down for a little bit. So we still talking about doing something, but we just don't know where yet.
Oh wow, oh wow! I bet everybody's pin up, right? All over the world, everybody's pin up and ready
Oh
to
yeah.
go have a big party, right?
Oh yes.
All these post-pandemic bonfires are happening all around us. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. One of the things I'm big time excited for is the third of the fourth Air Defense Artillery Regiments having a reunion in Nashville this year in August
Hmm.
4th through the 7th. If you're watching this and you don't have anything else to do, come hang out with us. It doesn't matter if you've been in battalion or not, if you're an air defender or not. If you're hearing this, you want to come hang out with a bunch of soldiers and paratroopers and veterans, and we're going to talk about old times. Contact us at formerforce.com. I'll give you the information, all the codes and things like that. We'll post on the website or whatever if you're interested. But but I'm excited about getting together with other people. You say you talk to Maggot every few days or so. How's he doing, man? I haven't talked to him in a while. I haven't talked to Mom in a while. How they doing?
They're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. I go there periodically to check on them and all that kind of stuff and hang out with them, hang out with Rob. We talk about his bugs, that he got into this thing and he's doing some progress on them bugs. I can tell you that much. Doing some progress.
Oh my. So, Robert Maggot was one of those guys for me. He spent so much time on me, so many moments he spent teaching me at every turn. If nobody else was doing anything, he was quizzing us, wasn't he, on regulations or the ASOP? And at that time, I just soaked it up. And so, I just appreciate him and Mama for everything they've done, and I look to get out to El Paso soon to see you guys and to visit. I saw the picture you guys with y'all's pink run stuff, man. That's so awesome, right? And and there's just seems like there's such a group of folks that are around and able to look over and look after Mama and Maggot, that we really appreciate it. What is it that what one of the things that I got scared of when I realized that Maggot was hurt, one of the things, my fears, I realized, was not ever getting to tell the stories or catch up or talk to the people, the moments that we shared. It led me to this. Do you have something you're scared of, or you realize that you need to do? Is there anything like that that's happened for you, in your life where you were like, I better.
Well, me, I thank the man above, for me to wake up every morning and even sleep at night. Those kind of things. Me, I just want to be one of those people to give back. So I do stuff out in the community. I help out with the DAV. If somebody needs something, I try to help out because I got a lot of brothers and sisters still here in El Paso, and I come. They call me. I'm the one to call. I come and help them out. Those kind of things because it's nothing more. I have family. Then I have my military family, and the military family is just like my regular family in every sense of the word. So I love just, some people even call me from over certain places. I remember one of my friends, he told me he was retiring in Hawaii. I said, well, let me come. I said, I'm coming to your retirement. So I came to his retirement in Hawaii, that kind of thing. And, and I seen some old air defenders I haven't seen in a while. And we just chopped it up and had a good time. So
I love it. That's right. It's amazing to have that kind of freedom, though, too. Also to be able to say, "Hey, that's important to me," and I have the resources to go do that. So thanks for honoring your brother by going and doing that with your own resources to go visit and love on someone that either you mentored or mentored you one of those days. Who was your big mentor when you were a kid and growing up?
big kid when I was growing up, mentor. I want to say it was my uncle because my dad he wasn't there, so my uncle was in lieu in his place, and my uncle he was in Vietnam, had a couple of mental issues, but he always loved me and tried to teach me the right way and those kind of things. And when he came back, he was kind of hurt with a lot of medication affected his mind a lot, and that's what ended up his life shortened because of that. But like I said, if I his name Bob was was my man.
So how did that affect you when he passed away? Was it tough to see him go?
Oh yes, it was tough. That was my mom's brother. So I remember, it's kind of, I said, I saw him that morning before I went to school. I got to school. I got the call maybe about 10 minutes later. After I got to school, they told me to come to the office. I came to the office, said, your uncle's gone. My uncle's gone. What you mean? I just saw him just this morning. So he was asleep. And when he was asleep, he had a heart attack and he suffocated in a pillow.
Oh no.
What happened to him? So
Oh no. Well,
yeah,
thanks for sharing. Right. So how old were you?
I was at the time, I want to say 10 years old.
Oh wow.
10 years
So
old.
so you're 10, so your dad's gone, and then your biggest mentor as a kid, it passes away at 10. you know, I mean, I'm sure obviously you weathered it well. You're here, but I mean, that's kind of, anyway. I mean, we could talk about stuff like that, or we could talk about, what
Oh,
made
yeah.
you join the army.
I'm fine with it. Like I said, then my mom, she's, my biggest mentor. She the person that pushed me to do certain things and told me that I could do what I put my mind to. So that's what I did.
Amen. Amen. I think I got a picture or two of your mom in that slideshow, right?
That's my grandmother.
It's your grandmother.
Yes.
Okay.
He
Okay.
passed away at the age of 99.
Wow.
99.
Wow. Wow. So what was it like? Like, did you know you were joining the army? Tell me about like high school and that ending. And did you go in the army right away, or did you go to college? Like, I pretended to go to college for a while.
Okay, so this how it happened for me. I was in the 11th grade, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I wasn't that athlete to get a scholarship or something like that. My academics was, like I was telling you, was in the middle. It was borderline. I had to make a decision. So I remember him just as clear as day. Larry D. Holmes, that was my recruiter, came on campus, told me about a job. He said, "Oh, you can be working with computers and analyzing stuff." I said, "Okay, cool." So in the 11th grade, I decided to get into the delay entry program. After the delay entry program, when the 12th grade hit and I graduated, I came into the army. I graduated on the 2nd of June. I was in the army on the 20th of June. My
Oh,
mom
that's
actually
great.
signed me in because I was 17 years old.
But you decided because of that. So what was it about that recruiter? Because look, sometimes recruiters walk into high school and a kid go, "Hey, I don't want nothing to do with you, man." And some recruiters walk in and they got the swank and swagger. What was it about this guy?
There was nothing really about him. It was about me. I felt like this. I'm grown. I got to find something to do with myself because I'm leaving out the army. I don't want to. I had a job. I never worked a fast food restaurant. I worked a gourmet restaurant all my life. So I was working at this country club as a chef, well, assistant under a chef, making exotic foods and all these kind of things. And I was like in the 11th grade. I mean, I was in the 12th grade, and I'm like, I got to go. This is not for me.
Right.
I had a great run with it. It was cool, but I need to make a career for myself. And that's what I was not going to stay home because there are certain things home, I see it every day when I go back home. There's people that are doing the same things I did when I was in high school. And I wasn't want to fall into be a victim of that. So that's why I came into the military. And I had a great run. I loved it.
So what was tell me about choosing your MOS and all that stuff.
Well, I was told I was going to be patriot and say I was going to be working in this van and all these good things. But then, so this how this happened. I went in basic training, and I was a holdover for 2 months because of my security clearance. I was waiting on that. After that, I was supposed to be what they call a 27 X-ray, and got to Fort Bliss after that, and I saw stingers. I knew 27 the X-ray piece was a open contract to the series of the air defense series. But I said, man, I want to jump out of a plane. This is what I want to do. I said, I want to jump out of a plane. I mean, I could be individual and all this stuff. And the drill sergeant told me, said, private, the Patriot class for tangos starts next week. But drill sergeant, I want to do that. He said, private. So that's how I became what they call a 16 tango at that time.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great. So tell me what you thought about being a 16 tango was at that time. What so they were like, "Okay, you're going to go do this." And then they told you, "No, you're a 16 tango." So what did you think then?
I thought it was a breach of contract. The
you
recruiter lied to
were
me.
happy? Oh
The
no.
recruiter lied to me, saying that I was going to work with computers and everything, and I'm ended up running around this launcher with missiles. So I I had a great time doing it. And when I became distinguished undergraduate out of AIT, and then from there went to first duty station was Germany. So my whole class, I think we boo-hooed and was sad because we liked it El Paso. We want to stay in El Paso. That's what we thought was going to happen. Well, we all got on a plane and went to Germany.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Well, so you went from being upset to the best at it, obviously, right? And so good, congratulations. What was it like in basic training? You know, were you a good little soldier? Did you do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff real well? Obviously, you were a runner.
Oh, well, I say it like this. I was that one that was under the cuffs, under the radar. And it's funny how you talk about that because I just found today my chain of command of all my drill sergeants and my chain of command at that time. So I thought
No
it was pretty
way.
cool. Yeah, I was just going through some boxes. I'm like, I got my old chain of command from basic training. How
Oh,
cool
that's
is that?
great. Right,
How
right.
cool is that? So the only way the drill sergeants found out who I was, we was on the range, and I'm left-handed. So I'm firing my weapon, and as I'm firing the weapon, because it had, the old M16A1s, they had the so-called brass deflector piece, but it never worked. So I'm
Right.
shooting on the lane, and I'm knocking down targets, and the shell casings was going inside the strap of my Kevlar, and it was burning the side of my face. And I was still shooting, and the drill sergeant said, "Private." I said, "Yes, drill sergeant." He said, "You're bleeding." "Okay, drill sergeant." He said, "You hear me?" "Yes, drill sergeant." And I kept on shooting, and he kicked me in my Kevlar. And that's the only way they knew who I was. So they called me Scarface the whole
Scarf.
time after before I finished basic training. So it was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, the folks laughing along with us, man. I love it. I love it. So like, were you a good shooter? Obviously, you were willing to take the pain to accomplish the mission. That's something important, right? You're like, give me a mission, I'm gonna do it, you know?
Take the pain and don't bother the drill sergeants.
That's
So
right.
that's the thing. Hey, because drill sergeant was feared. I remember in basic training, we went out to go eat. We came back and we was in the starship, we was on the top floor. In the middle of the quad, all our stuff was in the middle of the quad when we came back. One private left his wall locker unlocked. The drill sergeant took all the wall lockers and threw them across the side onto the concrete and told us we had to take one piece at a time and run up to the barracks and fix the barracks.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Hey, if you're online with us right now, take and share this wherever you're watching it, please. I haven't ever asked anybody to do this, but Cuff Dog is here with me online, and I'm laughing and laughing and laughing. We just getting started. We're telling timeless stories. We've got first sergeant retired Cuffie right here with us, right here on like the internets, on the webs. And if you ever thought that you might want to hear from him, here we are right now. I appreciate you. I'm just laughing so much, man. So tell me, like, okay, so you've got a box of goodies right there, all the names of your drill sergeants and all kinds of memorabilia, right? What? Tell me what's in there. What else is in there that's so cool that you can tell me in a little show and tell real quick.
Whoo, goodness. I gotta go get. I just got this on my table. The rest of the stuff is over there. But we
Yeah,
used
you
to
don't.
have,
No. I don't want to send you away.
oh yeah, but we used to have what we call back in the day a panty pole. So if you had a girlfriend back in the day, when they mail you, send you stuff, they're supposed to send you a pair of their panties. And we had this pole that's called the panty pole. So a lot of people didn't get one, but I got mine. So I was happy about that. So my girlfriend loves me, so we good. So that kind of thing. I mean, it was a couple of things. And I'm gonna tell you the initial basic training that messed me up. We were standing and we got our shots because we used the air guns at the time. We got our
Oh yeah.
shots. And
Oh
after
yeah.
we got our shots, we were standing out in formation. And I heard this. I'm like, what is that noise? I didn't say nothing because drill sergeant's walking by. And they're like, and it's private. He's crying. He's crying his eyes out. I'm like, what is wrong with this dude? And he's like, and then drill sergeant said, "Private, what's wrong with you?" He said, "I miss my mama." He said, "What?" He said, "I miss my mama." He said, "Private, you miss your mama?" "Yes, drill sergeant." He said, "Well, I'm gonna let you call your mama." "Okay, drill sergeant." The drill sergeant took this soldier, took him up a bunch of stairs, and it was kind of iconic because the moon was halfway on the top of the building coming down, and he was standing on the edge of the building at the top. He said, Private, you want to call your mama? Call your mama. Mama! He said, call your mama. Mama! We looking like, I don't want to be that dude.
Oh, no. Took him to the top of the building so he could scream for his mama. I've never heard that one before. That's great.
Wow.
That's great. That's great. So, do you remember being, like scared of your drill sergeants?
I wasn't scared of the drill sergeant, but one time. That time was, so let me back up. Back home in South Carolina, everybody knows I can eat. I eat big plates. I never eat nothing small, and I eat a lot. It was that one time, the initial time when we was in the barracks at the MEP station. When we got at the MEP station, we was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma before we actually went to the starship we were supposed to go to, and we just waiting to get assigned. So we're laying in bed, and the drill sergeant walks in, and he says, I don't care who comes to this door. You don't let nobody in. He was telling the fire guard, whatever you do, do not let nobody in, even if it's another drill sergeant. You understand me, Private? Yes, drill sergeant. So we all laying down. We hear this knock on the door. It's one of the drill sergeants. Let me in. Private said, we can't let you in, drill sergeant. He said, let me in. He started kicking the door. Boom, boom, boom. Let me in, doggone it. So the one thing he said that made me to change my tune is, he said, if y'all don't let me in, doggone, y'all won't eat in the morning. Y'all, somebody let that drill sergeant in. That was me. Somebody let that drill sergeant in. So but nobody didn't let him in. But he came down the fire escape and he congratulated those privates for not letting him in. Me, I would have folded. You talking about meal? You talking about rations? Not me, dude.
I'm gonna eat.
I'm gonna eat.
Oh, that's great. So, was there a time like, were you a good, private? You said obviously you was the distinguished honor graduate. Well, so I was a distinguished honor graduate from my AIT, and so it was the first time in the Army that I was like tested and like on a real test, and I looked around and I was like, this isn't that hard. What were you like the same way? Kind of like, okay, I think I can do this, right?
AIT was easy for me. Basic training, I was holdover for 2 more months. And when I was a holdover, I liked the Army at the time because the Army was, you told me all I had to do was exercise and eat and tell me I got to be someplace. I could do that. That was not a problem for me. Like I said, I was a holdover for 2 months waiting on security clearance. I went through the whole program again with all the pride. But the drill sergeants turned me into cadre, and they didn't give me the drill sergeant hat, but they gave me the whistle and the belt and called me a drill private.
A drill private. And you hadn't even been to basic yet?
No, the AIT yet.
Oh, the AIT. Oh, yep. I got it. You became a drill private. I saw the picture of that with you with the pistol belt on.
Yeah.
And nothing on your collar.
Yeah, nothing on my collar. They called me a drill private. And then when I left, it was ironic. I mean, it was nice of them. One of the drill sergeants gave me his drill sergeant hat. He said, maybe you'll be a drill sergeant one day. That never happened. But he said, maybe you'll be a drill sergeant one day. And then when I got the AIT, I had it with me. And I took it out my baggage one night and I put it on my head and I walked through the barracks. Man, everybody was jumping off the bunks like, oh God, he's drill sergeant, he coming through, oh Lord. So that was the joke back then in the day.
Did you get busted for that? Did you get any ramifications from that? Okay. Because, hey, there's cameras everywhere. I'm in the barracks now.
It's crazy, though. I have a friend of mine, and we kind of look alike. And there was a drill sergeant there in AIT, and he always would call me him and vice versa. And I could mimic him, the drill sergeant, and people like, is drill sergeant around? And then I would just laugh because it was just funny at that time.
Do you do impressions?
No, I don't do
No?
impression. I did impression of my drill sergeant, which was
Did you?
really good.
So I was wondering if you did any famous air defense guys, like if you had anybody you could do. I always wondered about that. Like who was it told me the other night that Command Sergeant Major Rowland was his very first platoon sergeant.
Ooh,
Yeah, LZ said Rowland was his very first platoon sergeant. Right, that
yeah.
would be wild, right?
Oh
Friggin'
yeah, that's a
Philip
wild ride.
Philip G. Rowland, man. It was like my hands.
Mm. Mm.
Oh my gosh! So tell me about becoming a sergeant. Did you find responsibility there?
Oh yes, I became a sergeant when I went to Korea back in '95. When I first got there, it was when I got to the unit. I used to love to call cadence at the time. I mean, shoot, as a private, that's what we did, and run and call cadence, And some people could just run, but you got some people who run and call cadence. So if you can't run and call cadence, don't talk to me. So we used to run and call cadence. And when I got to the unit, we was in a run and nobody was calling cadence. So I got out and I started calling cadence, and I was a specialist at the time. And I'm like, I'm calling people out. People didn't want to come out and said, how are y'all NCOs and don't want to call cadence? This is the fun part of the run. This is what keeps people in the run. This is what keeps people hyped. This is what keeps the drive going. But they just didn't do so. But then they start to slowly come out and start calling cadence, which that's what they should have been doing in the first place.
Oh, amen, amen. I wrote a song the other not long ago called "Mama Told Sally." Man, I love it. I love it. Yeah. What's your favorite cadence?
Helicopters hover.
Oh, marching cadence.
Yes.
Oh, you got to sing that, man.
Ooh, man.
Ooh, ooh.
Singing that. Ooh, man. Shoot.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm
yeah.
rusty. I'm rusty. I could try
Oh,
it, but I know I'm gonna mess up some bars. Because I'm retired, so I don't know if that's gonna go well.
oh yeah, yeah. We'll one of these days maybe we'll get you to like I got Rob I asked Sergeant First Class Robinson to send me a recording of him. He sings my favorite cadence ever. When we were in the 82nd, we'd be running down the road. He
Mm-hmm.
sings a song about huffing and a puffing with a 60-pound ruck. And so I got him to record it. Maybe one of these days I'll get you to record your cadence. Just do it on your cell phone,
Okay.
and I got a buddy that does wonder with that stuff, man. We could make it into something. I would
Okay,
love
that's
it.
cool.
Because
That's cool.
guys like you, man, that sing cadence like it wasn't too long ago. I went back to the 82nd Airborne Division to the Advanced Airborne School where I used to work,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually let me run the circle. Like I could give the commands and stuff in the circle. I'm an old civilian, man, but I was old black hat, so I know how to run the circle. And
Got
they
it.
let me do it a couple of times. I thought that was really cool. So you singing the cadence. I would love to get a recording of that. So think
Okay.
about it one day, and if you get froggy one day, have an extra bourbon with your cigar, and you can knock it out, man. Get old Ben with you, and get him and some of your other buddies to sing some chorus. Tell Maggot to sing along too, but not tell Maggot not to sing so loud, man. Oh my gosh, I love it, man. I'm hanging out here with First Sergeant Cuffie, dude. I always thought you was a command sergeant major, man. I lost track of you, I guess, at the end of your career, whatever. I'd written you down as a CSM, man. I'm like, get Cuffie, man. I want Cuffie.
Mm.
Oh,
Now
so
there was two Cuffies.
oh,
There's a CUFFIE and a CUFFEE. The other one that's an EE, he was a drill sergeant. Light skin.
ah.
We both are related. We're both family.
Oh, that may be what I'm messing up. That may be part of what I'm messing up. Maybe I'm molding my memories of both of y'all's together. I
But he
think
wasn't.
that
He never made command sergeant major. I mean,
really.
he never. Nah. He
All
just
right.
got out the military. So
So obviously, I just don't even know what I'm talking about, which is fine
no,
because
no, you're good.
remember,
You're good.
remember, Army stories only require 10% of the truth. That's all they require, right? So, like if you were going to talk about your brand in the military, like I'm not like your, I don't know. I'm just like, are you new army, old army? Are you like, do what I say? Are you like, follow the leader? Are you NCO Creed? Are you, let's bend the rules a little bit? Tell me about you.
Well, I'm a mix of old army with common sense. So I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. And I know this it's kind of touching how I'm gonna say it. There was a soldier in my unit that was on the family care plan. She was pregnant and she could not find somebody to take care of her child while she was going to the field or that kind of stuff. And I tried everything to try to help her. So she wanted to stay in the military so bad, she found somebody to do it. And that person ended up touching her child. So because there's a certain time period, you got to have your family care plan in order to be able to stay into the military, or you get chaptered out the military. And this person, she wanted to stay in so bad that she did what she thought was necessary to be able to stay.
Right.
And I have leniency that some people can't find a family care plan person within that time frame. So they would have to wait. I say it should be a little bit longer, that kind of thing, for that. That's just me. I mean, there's certain things I see in the military. I understand that we consider being common sense and do as I say, not as I do, that kind of thing. It's just like Patriot, for instance. I know there are a lot of people out there maybe going to say, yeah, on this one, we had to camouflage launchers. I did not understand the concept of that, especially when we had generators, lights blinking at the top of all this equipment, and we sitting in the doggone desert. People know where we're at. We got heat signatures. We can't hide that. But we did what we was told because that's what we say to do. It didn't kill us. It didn't harm us. So that's what we did.
I agree. It's so amazing, right? It's so amazing. One of the things that I realized at some point, when I become a patriot, my first experience with patriot was when I was a first sergeant of a unit, and so I had to look around. And one of the things about being a SHORAD first sergeant is that you look around the battlefield when you're really at battle, and none of your soldiers are next to you. They're all over the place, right? When you're a first sergeant of a Patriot battery and you look around, everybody's around you. And if they're messing up, well, guess whose fault it is, right? At some level. You can't say, oh, well, they're out there on the battlefield and they don't know what they're doing. I can't help them. No, you're the first sergeant and you have to say, well, crap, let me go over there and pick it up. Let me, take care of it. And what I found was that if you were able to manage that team that you were around, and let everybody do the jobs in accordance with their capabilities. Like you had certain people that you knew you weren't going to bring to the orderly room and write a memorandum for record. You weren't going to ask them to do it. You just weren't. You would take them and place them on something else to do, right? But I found that Patriot soldiers were as competent as any soldier if you simply took care of them and loved on them and everything. And I don't even know how I got off into that, but I will tell you that I appreciated everybody that I was around. Tell me about becoming a sergeant. Did you find that being a sergeant was something you enjoyed?
I enjoy being a sergeant for the simple fact of taking care of people. And I took care of people that wasn't even in my section, those kind of things. I helped them out with boards. Like in Germany, for instance, I was a staff sergeant when I was in Germany. And I took a lot because in Patriot, in a launcher platoon, you have a platoon trainer. And I was their platoon trainer. So my platoon sergeant, I felt like this. If my platoon sergeant had to be down there, then he don't need me.
Right.
That's how I always felt. So we would go down there, hey, let's go handle this. And all he got to do is get the stats. That's all he got to do. Shoot. And I felt like this: if one of my soldiers in my section that had a financial problem or a family issue and all that stuff, I'm going to take care of that
Right.
because these are my people. These are the people that work for me, and that's how I live my way through from sergeant to first sergeant. Same way.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously you enjoyed PT and running and singing cadence and all that stuff. I think that's really cool. Did you do good like in PLDC and stuff? Did you feel that that was beneficial to you?
Oh yes, PLDC was beneficial. I did PLDC at Fort Hood, so PLDC was very beneficial. That kind of thing. Every school, I can say every school that I have went to from PLDC, BNOC, I know it's called something different. ANOC, I know it's called something different. Those kind of things. Even the first sergeant course, even airload planners courses and EOL class, that kind of stuff. I learned something out of all those stories. Even I was a unit victim advocate and a sexual assault coordinator. So I was a guest speaker at a couple places, and I would tell them stories of certain things that had happened in my life that I've used in order to help to resolve situation that happened in, me not being in the military.
Right, right, right. Did uh did you find yourself enjoying the army as you went along in the ranks?
I can say like this: if somebody told me, "Would you do the army again?" I'll say I'll do it every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Amen.
The military, I've met great people, not okay people. I've met great people. Some of them been my mentors. Some of them gave me guidance. Some of them my best friends, and not just friends. Some of them just straight family. So there's four people that I went to AIT with, and I'm still great. We're family.
Oh, who are they? Tell me who they are.
Ben Williams,
Oh wow.
Corey Joseph,
Oh wow.
and Harvey Wilson.
I don't think that I know Harvey Wilson, but I
Yes,
I know Joseph and Williams.
yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
We all went to AIT together, and Corey Joseph, he was my roommate. We was roommates for a good 3 to 4 years. I'm talking about we went from AIT to Germany to another place in Germany. Then we went to Fort Hood together, and then we went to Korea together. And then when we came back from Korea, then we went our separate ways.
That's great, right? You build long-term friendships that way,
Oh yes,
really really brothers, and when you have those shared experiences of AIT and stuff like that together, that's huge. That's a big deal.
oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah, yeah. What tell me tell me about those that pray for you at night, who are close to you that you love and love you.
Well, those three also. My sister, everybody that's really close to me. I mean, I can name a lot of people. Somebody even called me one time. They say, "Man, anytime I want to know where somebody at, just call Cuffie. Cuffie will tell you where somebody is at." I try to keep in touch with everybody. Sometimes I might fall the wayside not talking to everybody because me and a couple of friends was talking the other day. A friend of ours came down from Fort Hood and he hung out for a while and that kind of stuff for a couple of days and everything. And they said that we need to do stuff like that more instead of we just sitting there at times and we're looking over somebody saying, "Oh my God, this person passed away." We could be talking to them while they're alive. That kind of thing. We
Amen.
shouldn't be waiting until it's that time for them to exit out of here in order of saying that we saying goodbyes. And that's how we look at each other and say, "Man, we need to get together more," and all that kind of stuff when we should have been doing that in the beginning.
Amen. Amen. I agree with that, and that's part of what we're doing right here is
Oh,
getting in touch and making memories, and I should definitely do that more in my life too. Thanks for sharing.
mhm.
Thanks for sharing. Um, Did you stay the same MOS all the way through? Did you go from Tango to Zulu?
No. Yeah, I went to Tango to Zulu. That was it.
Right, right, right. So did you deploy? Did you worry about getting gassed like everybody else, having to put your gas mask on and all that stuff? Did you find yourself in danger or helping somebody?
Well, I say it like this. I might sound crazy what I'm about to say. I didn't feel complete unless I deployed. And I'm just being honest with you for the simple fact is because I came in the military to serve my country. If it came down to it when they told me I had to deploy, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Let's get this thing. I remember me, I was in a unit at Fort Bliss, and we left from there, and we had to go to Kuwait. And our job was to bring back Patriot equipment. It was in bad shape and all that stuff. We were supposed to clean it up, put it on low boys, get it out of there, and get it back to the States to get refurbished. That's when Saddam didn't want the UN to inspect his sanctions. The next word that we got was, we need to take this equipment, put it in this hangar, and we need to get it fixed. And we're like, okay, let's go and get it done. This other person that was with me, he just became a echo. He didn't know anything about air defense or nothing like that. He came over from being 11 Bravo, changed over. Me and him was bickering so much back and forth because I was trying to get stuff done, and he was trying to tell me because he outranked me, but he didn't know nothing that I knew. They had to fly a warrant in to get between that whole situation. We ended up kicking his butt out the way so we can get this equipment working. We worked through the night. I had soldiers there. Some of us crying said, look, there ain't no time for crying. We got to get this equipment ready. You know, the general been asking about this every day. We got to get this thing. We got to get to this site. We got to get this thing set up and all this kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I was nervous, but I couldn't let them see that. I had to be that person to hold the group together. I remember driving this equipment in the middle of the night, old dark 30, getting it to a site. My truck I was driving, as soon as I got in the site, the radiator behind it, it was so bad a shape, the radiator exploded. Boom! In the back. And I had to tow it to a certain point to set it up.
Oh man. Oh man. So you found yourself you're having to be the adult getting things done.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Because,
Oh,
some people come into the military for, well, I just come in for the college money. I just come in, I don't want to get deployed and all that stuff. But, it's just, you looked and you viewed that a certain way. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I have missed deployments because I was told, I remember when I was in Fort Hood and the unit was deploying, me and my roommate, Joe, we got orders to go to Korea. We like, wait a minute, they're going on deployment. How we get orders to go to Korea? Just me and him together got orders at the same time to go to Korea. And I'm like, so Korea take precedence over deployment? Sure enough, we left to go to Korea. And that's how we missed out on deployment. I'm like, how's this something? Wow, really?
and so it's an interesting concept to think about a soldier's desire to do his or her part, right? A soldier hates to find themselves on the sideline. It's like being on a team, but you're not on the starting 11 on the football team, right? If you're not deployed. So, I mean, you described very, very well there about a desire. I want to do my part. Um, did, was there a desire to, what was it that drove you? Did you want to just do your part? Did you want to be the part of the best team? Did you have a desire to be a leader of a larger unit? Was promotion something that drove you?
No,
Um,
it was just like I can't express it enough. It's something that I felt like I had to do. I mean, it's something that I felt that I needed to have. I have to, it's don't get me wrong, you have people that have never deployed and they can train you and show you certain things. I remember a friend of mine, he was a stinger and he was showing vehicle search and procedures. And we was in ACRC at the time. And he gave such a great class all the National Guard guys that was getting the class that was deploying, all they kept looking at was his sleeve, was he didn't have a combat badge. And they were so impressed about what he was doing that they just couldn't figure out why, how you so knowledgeable at this, but you never been deployed. He said, you got ARs, you got SOPs, you got TSOPs, you got all these other doctrines and everything that you read. Sometimes you don't need to deploy to be able to understand the concept of what you need to do. Now, they frowned upon him not having a combat patch, but still, he was very versed in what he could do.
It's amazing. It's amazing the clout a badge will give you, right? A Ranger tab or a combat patch or a particular unit insignia. You know, I wear this 82nd belt buckle that a buddy of mine, he goes, you could bring me that scare me buckle. You're always walking around with trying to scare me with your 82nd buckle. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it scared you. You know, but it's interesting, you know, like, are you a Russian, you know? But it's neat that you know, it's neat that we have these icons and things. What what was the next step, you know, along your career? You know, you talked about going to Korea, you talked about becoming a sergeant, you talked about going through some of your schools and stuff. You know, do you remember a particular tough time as a sergeant or staff sergeant?
Tough time, tough time. I could tell you a tough time. I had a soldier when we was at Fort Bliss, here at Bliss. She had a difficult pregnancy. The doctors at William Beaumont were very non-responsive to her needs. And I went up there and I cussed a couple of people out. She ended up losing the baby, but her mom wrote me a letter saying that I'm glad there's somebody taking care of my child. I have this letter to this day of that situation that has happened. And, you know, it's just some things. I even have a soldier. She in Fort Lewis, Washington. She made sergeant majors, but she changed over branch. She went to AGR and all that kind of stuff. She told me a story which I totally forgot at Fort Hood when she went to get her hair done off base, and she came back to the unit, and it was terrible. I told her, get in my car. We going to see them people that did your hair. I took her straight down and said, look, I don't know who did it, but somebody's going to fix this child's hair. And she reminded me of that, and I said, I totally forgot I took you down there to do that.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Great. Yeah, you got to take care of soldiers, right? You got to take care of them.
Oh, yeah.
Got to take care of them. So, tell me about, you know, your different assignments. I know you said you were like maybe ACRC there for a while.
Yes.
Tell me more different assignments and places.
Okay, so when I graduated out of AIT, my first duty station was Germany. It was Hanau, Germany, 243. Left from 243, went to 443 in Gießen. Then from there, went to Fort Hood. Then went to 143 in Korea. Then I came back and went to 32. 32 was basically just a name at the time. We had to go to White Sands to get equipment to bring it back to make up the unit. I was a sergeant, platoon sergeant, E5, platoon sergeant. And I had all these soldiers under me. I remember coordinating with 11 Brigade because when I got to unit, they didn't even have no equipment. So I remember coordinating with 11 Brigade so we can at least table 8. Well, do individual launcher table 8s, you know, with the unit, that kind of thing. I mean, I did put in some work in that unit. They gave me what they call a plank or whatever of the unit or whatever. It's like a you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, like
You know, we're one of the original people that started up the unit. I thought that was pretty cool.
that's awesome.
I even got an MSM as a sergeant.
Wow. That's good. That's amazing, right? They don't just hand out MSM to a sergeant. There's look that that brings up a whole other bevy of things. You talk about awards and stuff like that, and who got the right one and who didn't get what they wanted, and all that kind of good stuff. But good on you, man. You really super impressed somebody to get an MSM as a sergeant. So great job.
But I look at it like this, it will. It's about doing your job
Yeah.
and taking care of soldiers. Those are two main things in the military that is a break a unit or make a unit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, who were some of your mentors in the Army?
Ooh, I got so many of them. Sodomy Garland Sullivan, he's one. Timmy Long is another one. Jerome Wiggins is another one. Jerome. Roland, he's another one. Sergeant Major Michael Leach is another one of my mentors. I can sit here and name you so many over and over again. It's just, Tony Wino. I mean, I got so many that I can consider being my mentors. They said a couple of words to me, or they kicked me in my behind to get better. So
Right? 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 Do you ever remember a time when you thought you were in trouble?
I've been in trouble many times. So that's that. But because of my work ethic and because they know I was good as a soldier, they that's why I've stayed in the military, that kind of thing. And because of those things that happened to me, I give soldiers the benefit of the doubt, and I help them out as well.
Right.
I remember I was in Germany, and I had a soldier came to my platoon, and he had his family back in the States. There was something going on with the hospital. I was on the phone in the first sergeant office, and this is when I was staff, so I was on the phone in the first sergeant office, calling back, trying to get to the hospital, talking to him and all this kind of stuff. And he had a bad back. He was in my unit, but he had a bad back. He was complaining about his back. There was this club that was on our little installation in Babenhausen, Germany. And I walked in the club. He was dancing on the dance floor. He did, I don't know, he ran and he slid on his knees and he bent his back like this to the floor. And and the funny thing about it was ironic because he slid in front of me. And I stand there and I looked at him. See me in the office in the morning. That's all I said.
See me in the office in the morning.
See me in the office in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm here with First Sergeant Retired Frederick Cuffie, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good time with us. We're here laughing again. Hey, I just want to take an opportunity to thank our donors, our master rated donors, our senior donors, our basic donors. Thank you so much for your help. We really appreciate it. Diaz, Fernandez, thank you. We love you. We really appreciate it. It's neat, that we're really I'm doing I don't know, in a way, a kind of a live show 4 nights a week, for those that care about a live show. The thing that's important is not this. It's what's going to go on the thumb drive with your slideshow and the memories of it. Right. It's the chance that we have to tell your story, right? Nobody else gets a chance to tell their story so much. Nobody's got time for it, right? You know what? We're going to listen to Cuffie. Everybody says they want to, but we're doing it. Tonight you're telling your story, and those that love you will be able to hear it one day. And I'm proud that you're talking to me about it. I really, really like it. Do you remember a time in the Army where you were like, yes, we did it?
Oh, yes. Plenty of times. Couple of training exercises. I mean, I could go into detail with a bunch of stuff, but only a couple of training exercises, a couple of exercises when we got deployed. It's numerous things. I mean, I have stories and stories and stories I could tell you about what happened in the military, what didn't happen in the military, what shouldn't have happened in the military. I mean, it just I could go on and on there, Will. I can.
Well, that's what this is about. That's what this is about. So I hope that maybe we can pick something that you can go on and on about. What was there a time where you found a soldier that you really? I mean, you talked about a couple soldiers that didn't get the care that they needed. Was there a time where you kind of somebody went out of their way to help you, or you maybe helped somebody?
Yeah. For me, some people have went out their way to help me because, like, sometimes I got off the. Even though I was good at what I could do, I did get off the beaten path, and it took, you know, I remember one time I was in Germany and I had somebody that was over me, and I just thought they were just the worst thing in the world. And I came and saw Major Sullivan, and he looked at me. My boots was all messed up, and my uniform didn't look right, and all that stuff. And he said, "Hey, Cuff, what's wrong with you?" I said, "Well, I got this problem and all this stuff." He said, "Hey, don't let nobody get in your shot group. You keep your shot group tight." I said, "Okay." You did. I left from the unit, and Babenhausen and Hanau was two different directions. I left from the battalion that was at the battalion Hanau, drove back to Babenhausen, cleaned myself up, and came back to see him so I could sit down and talk to him. Because I mean, it was just, you got some people in the military, they only got to say one thing to you, change your whole perspective.
Right, right. Look, I
Ain't bad.
remember. No, it's not bad at all. I remember several times where somebody would say something to me, and I was like, "Oh," and it's like I'll never make that mistake again. Right, very quickly. It's like, okay, like for me, one time I didn't tuck my straps in on my Alice pack. My straps were just dangling as we were walking down the road in my Alice pack. Right, and somebody that I really admired said, "What's up with you, Marshall? Man, I thought you'd tuck your straps in." I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. We had stopped at a break. I, popped something open and I left my little straps dangling. And then I felt like a friggin' yo-yo. But it's just little straps dangling. Come on. But that affected me big time, right? It doesn't take much when somebody you respect say something, right? For sure.
And on another note, there's some soldiers that I had to tell them, "Hey, I got to take you out the Army inventory. I mean, you this is not for you." And I've had people contact me and said, "First Sergeant, you was right. The Army was not for me. You told me, and I know I got mad at you, but you was being honest." And I think being honest, I won't say think. I know being honest with a soldier about them and whatever and all that stuff can go a long way. I mean, you got to tell them the truth. Got to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And good, good for doing that. It's tough to put soldiers out of the army. It's tough. It's tough to, I chaptered a soldier one time, but deep down inside, when we would go to our counselings and I'd talk about it, he says, "First Sergeant, I don't want to be in the army. I'm getting overweight because I want out, right? I want to go home." And it's like, and this was back in the 90s,
Mhm.
and and I'm a sergeant looking at this guy going, "Come on, man, come on, we're doing extra PT," and he's like, "No, I want to get out."
Mm.
uh anyway, what was it about being a first sergeant that you liked the most? Was that your most rewarding position?
I think my most, don't get me wrong, being first sergeant was a very, very good job. Very great job. I think sergeant first class was one of my most memorable experiences as a non-commissioned officer, especially having a platoon. And, they doing all the stuff for you and you taking care of them and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like when we do recovery, we just take 3 days to do recovery. It took us one day because I'm like, "Hey, this is what we got to do. You got to take these people here. Hey, I don't care who weapon it is. Y'all take these weapons down here to the arms room. I don't care. All five of y'all clean these weapons. I would go get food and all that kind of stuff." And we would just handle business. I like, "Hey, we want to have the other days off. Y'all can have these other days off. I need y'all to work." And I would be out there helping them as well.
Amen. Amen. It's interesting to think about things like recovery. Look, I hated recovery worse than I hated going to the field.
Mm.
Man, because you gotta clean your stuff up to put it away, and if you don't do it, it's going to be in a mess, and it definitely, you definitely gotta take care of it like that, So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, what how did your career end? What happened? Did you decided to retire? How many years were you in?
I did 21 years, 7 months, and 10 days. That was on my order. So that's the only thing I can quote to you.
Hey man, I did about the same amount of time,
Mhm.
I did about
Yeah.
the same amount of time.
I wanted to do more. My thing was that my body was starting to not have it anymore, that kind of thing. And, you know, like I say, warranties start to run out on the body. And when the warranties start to run out, you know, sometimes you got to look at what's best for you. I made it to retirement age, and I just took it from there.
Hey, I get it. I get it. It's like at one point you become working for half pay, right? And you're like, okay. For me, they wanted to deploy me back to Japan again, and I was like, or back to Japan, or to Japan, and I had just come back from Korea, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna hang it up. Did you find retirement something that you handled well, or did you struggle going into some kind of something new?
I say it like this: I was nervous because it's the unknown. I didn't know. I had a plan of what I wanted to do. I was still in college when I retired. I retired on the last day of my time in the Army was 31 January 2013. 1 February, I was out of the military. I was a little nervous. I got my retirement check and I got my school check. So I was like, hey, I'm doing pretty good, And then a couple months later, I got my disability, so I'm doing great. So it's not as bad. You know, it's about posturing yourself to to look forward to getting out. And some people don't do that, or not told to do that, or guided into that way. I went to a couple of classes because I know some people didn't get certain ratings for disabilities, so I could help them with their disabilities. I don't want no money out of it. I just want to help people, that kind of thing. Because I feel like it's in my soul just to help, and that's what I love to do. And talk to people, that kind of thing. Give them guidance on certain things. Even though I know I'm still out the military, and I know there's things have changed since I've been out, but still, I would like to give back by helping out others, and that's what I do.
What was your favorite uniform in the Army?
My favorite uniform, I would say, was the BDUs.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
the BDUs. Don't get me wrong, I had DCUs, when deployed, but BDUs was the favorite uniform. Then they came out with the other one with the digitized print on it. I'm like, Then they came out with this new one that came out. I can't think of the name. I done lost track of the acronyms and names of those things, but
Me too. Me too.
yeah, so it is what it is.
Isn't this neat? Yeah. So there's something about the memories of the BDU and black boots, right? There's just something about shining your boots and edge dressing
Mhm.
and Monday morning formation, squad leaders inspecting the soldiers. Did you get caught up in any of that?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Shining boots.
Mm.
I love shining boots. I remember being embarrassed. You had that stay flow, and you take that stay flow, and you put it in the bottom, you spray the thing, and let it hang up for a little bit, and then you starch that joker until it's like it's creased. Now, I remember back. I could do a uniform. I don't know who that person was in that little white truck that used to come on Fort Bliss on Logan Heights, but they could do a uniform that was so starched. You had to fight to get your leg and your arms in, and it still had that big crease on the side. When you got your hand halfway through that, and you can hear
Oh yeah.
it straight through. I still could not get my uniform to that level.
There's something about breaking starts, right? It's
Mm.
just something about breaking starts that That is just amazing. And later on in the week, that same uniform, you know, you're gonna be wearing on a road march or down sweating your butts off in the motor pool in or whatever. But on Monday morning, man, you're proud of that thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and some highly spit shine boots. Because what I would do is I shine my boots, and then first formation I wear them, take them jokers off, put my old boots on to work in, and go ahead and work. And then I just add more kiwi to those and get them shinier and more shinier.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, right. Such great times, right? But like many times, though, I tell you what, honestly, I found myself wearing my boots all the time and having several highly spit shine pair. I even find myself jumping in my good boots sometimes, not
Mm.
wanting to, but I guess only just because I just wasn't disciplined enough. I just wasn't disciplined enough. So if you had to, if you had to go back and relive some time of your career, what would you go back to do?
Running around on the launcher.
Ah,
Don't get wrong. Don't get wrong. I mean, being a platoon side and all that stuff, but I remember running around a launcher was one of my things, and I know when it came around to doing a crew drill, especially when it was in a competition, I always had a certain uniform that I might wear. It even had holes and torn. I mean, it was torn, that kind of thing. Boots already gouged out. I said, I got to run a crew drill. I'm trying to get the best time. So shoot, I'm talking. I'm literally just grabbing onto outrigger legs, swinging myself around, and hitting buttons and all that kind of stuff, and running fiber up range, that kind of stuff. I mean, pounding in ground rods. Those were the good days. I'm talking about that's when you got boots on ground. Boots on ground.
That's great. So that's interesting that you say that because I would love back to go back to my days on the Vulcan, right? On that gun, running that
Ooh.
ammo and shooting the 3,000 rounds a minute. I mean, that'd be really cool. I'd love to go back. You want to go to the outriggers and putting that missile into operation. That's got to be like if you think about it, right? What you're doing is you're taking this gigantic missile and in placing all these safeguards so
Mm-hmm.
that you can have both radio and cable communication to this thing at all times and backups and redundancies. You're dragging this cable off into the friggin', Neverlands, 10
Oh, yeah.
miles to the doggone, whatever.
Yeah.
And you've got this truck to deal with afterwards, right after you drop it off,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your launcher. It starts shooting stuff. You're like, wow, let's go reload it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Did you enjoy doing reload drills?
Oh yes. Forklift and GMT. Loved each one of them. I mean, but it's always funny because you always, no discrimination, but you always find the short female, and we always put them on the chop block, and they will always do the outriggers. I mean, do the controls for the GMT. They was just great at it. I'm talking about they just had a hand that was a touch like cotton. I mean, just I don't know what it is. I just can't explain it. It's just one of those things.
Oh, that's great. That is so great. So hands like cotton.
Hands like cotton. I
Oh,
mean,
I love it.
they just had that touch. I mean, when you tell them just a little bit, little bit, it was just that little bit.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Did you ever do a crew drill where you and your crew did subpar or you weren't excited about what happened?
Well, I have. Can't lie to you on that one. And it made me mad because you trying to help you're trying to help somebody out on your drill and everything, and they still messing up because, like you say, it's not like you going out there with a man pad. You out there, you got your team chief with you. You out there, you firing. Just you and that person. Here with a GMT, you got a couple of people. So you got to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, that kind of thing, and all that stuff. But we rehearse, and all that stuff. And you still got somebody about make a mistake. Patriot. Patriot is a collective task.
At every level, I
If
totally agree.
the launchers pass, the Recess fail, the whole battery fails.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you try to stay in sync with everybody and try to help other people out. I remember I had a battery commander back at Fort Hood. His name was Captain Handy at the time. He had an idea that everybody need to know everybody else's job. What if you go to war and that person dies and you just gonna stand there do anything? So even though it's not your MOS, you need to learn how to do that. So
Yeah.
I started to learn other people's job, and then it got real serious to me when we went. I got PCS to Korea, and I'm in Suwon, and I'm running down the fence, and I'm like, "Here's you got a fence, you have this ammo can sitting in the middle, and you got a wall, and you got barbed wire." I'm like, "So what's the ammo can?" They said, "Well, if North Korea overruns, that's doggone dynamite inside, explosives inside these cans and all that stuff to help protect us." I'm like, "Are you for real right now?
All right.
Are you serious?" So when I got there, I want to learn not just the launcher system. I want to learn the ins and outs of it, the circuit cards, what makes this fault, what this going on. I even broke down inside the SINGAR radio, taking the caps and stuff off it. They're going inside. I wanted to learn everything I could about it because I'm like, I do not want to sit here in Korea and die because I'm looking at something stupidly because I cannot fix it.
Amen. Amen. You took charge of your own survival.
Yes.
Amen. 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 Was there something in life or in the army that you found exceptionally easy? It's like all of a sudden it's like a glove that your hand just slid into. Is there something like that?
At that time, before I got older, it was PT. PT was easy. Let's go run. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I wasn't no gazelle, but I could call cadence and run for a long time. Uh, Push-ups, I could do. I could do less than 2 minutes of the max in less than two. Sit-ups, same thing. But as I got more body armor, more fat on, it got a little more challenging.
Right, right.
A little more challenging.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So that's cool. So was there anything that you had a tough time with?
I had a tough time with certain leaders. You know, it you always got that you always got one leader that is always that obstacle for you. And you always got to find the workaround for them because they are just a challenge. You know exactly they special. And you try to work around their disability. I say it like that. So
I know what you're talking
those are the things that I could say for me was challenging because sometimes I was like, well, me and my commander we'll go together and like, hey, how we gonna deal with this? Okay, we're gonna do it this way. All right, we're going in here as a team. We're going to go and take care of this. All right, we're gonna take care of it and all that stuff. And we present it to whoever we need to present it to. No, you're not gonna do that first, Sergeant. I said, well, Sergeant Major, this ain't gonna happen like this because of this, that, whatever. The regulation states this. When you got people that go against the regulation, that's when I would have that problem. I ain't gonna say no names on this, but I remember I was in the Article 15 here, and Retreat was playing. I stood to attention, and I stood there and faced where the music was. The battalion commander didn't know at the time and didn't have any idea because he's never been in that situation. He asked me, first time, what you doing? I said, I'm standing in front and because of retreat, you got to stand at attention inside a building and move to where the music is at. It was a board question to me, so it always stuck in my head. He said, and then my sergeant major said, oh, because we're doing Article 15, that does not apply. Huh? That's how I looked at him like, huh? I mean, I stood there at attention. He kept talking to me, but I stood at attention. When we finished, okay, sir, let's proceed. He said, first sergeant, let me see you outside. He tried to chew me out. I said, well, Sergeant Major, the regulation states this. If you haven't read it, I can actually show it to you. And he knew, but you have people that are difficult. That's all I can say. And those are the challenges of people that make the military a hard place for some people. And it's sometimes the point where it makes them want to break them to stay or break them to leave.
Yeah. So you're funny. Have you ever tried to do stand up?
Oh yeah.
Have you? I think you might be good at it. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I love your cadence and your storytelling. What would you have done if you wasn't in the army? You think?
I probably would have been still working at that country club cooking because I started off doing dishes, and the funny thing about it is I when I master something, I want to move on to something different. And what happened was I started off basically the parking lot had grass that overgrew on the parking lot, so they gave me a shovel and a wheelbarrow to clean it where the grass meets the actual line, like edging it up to actually where the cement ends and all that stuff to make it look like a parking lot because it all grew over. I stood there, I did it for like 3 hours, and they said, hey, why don't you come and get a break? I said, no, I want to finish this. So I kept doing it for 3 hours until I was done. And they said, well, you want to take your hand in doing dishes? I don't see what should be a problem with doing dishes. I remember this dude named Roy. So as we doing dishes, because they had three sinks. They had the dirty sink, the sink that you take and rinse stuff out, and had the sanitized sink, but also they had this thing where you lift up to put the dishes in and you put the plates in and you put down and it goes through the steamer and automatically cleans it. So we go through all that and everything, but the pots kept piling up. And I was like, Roy, what are you doing, man? He said, man, just let them pile up. We're gonna be here all night. Look, dude, I'm not planning on being here all night. I'm telling you this right now. So I was cleaning up the pots as I'm doing everything. Next week, Roy was gone. So I guess I got him fired from his job. Well, I'm like this. Don't sit here and let something. It's just like for instance, like the military, for instance. Some people in the unit they can BS all day. Then we come to the end of the day. Now we got work to do. If we got work to do, if you tell me what my mission is in the morning, I can complete the assignment. Let everybody go home. Now, if there's more stuff we got to do, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But don't be holding everybody and everybody looking at each other in the face like this, like this, like this, just hanging around like wet clothes, hanging out like TA50. Nah, we're not doing that.
So I gotta ask you a question. Okay, so we're buying a pickup truck, right? We're buying a
Mhm.
pickup truck for you. Okay, we're gonna lift it? Are we gonna lower it? Are we gonna make it regular? Are we gonna squat it? What kind of pickup truck are you getting?
I tell you, I like a little bit of height because I like looking down. So I'm gonna lift it a little bit.
Lift it just a little
Just a
bit.
little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, we're hanging out with First Sergeant Frederick Cuffie. Everybody, tell me about your name, Frederick Antonio Cuffie. Where does that come from? What does that mean to you?
Okay. Woo. Now, I had to ask since my mom, she long gone, God bless her soul. I had to ask my dad, where did he get Frederick Antonio from? The Cuffie is a given. He said, well, it just sounded good at the time. I said, okay, well, I guess I just have to go with that then. Now, Cuffie is a different thing because there's a lot of history behind that. It's been spelled Cuffie and Cuffee. If you look in the Smithsonian, one of my family members is in the Smithsonian named Paul Cuffie. Paul Cuffie was a slave that went, his name was Paul Cuffie, but then when he was captured, the slave master changed his name from Paul Cuffie to Cuffie Paul. Somehow he got away, changed his name back, went back to Africa, and he owned two merchant ships. He would come back to the state. He learned how to navigate himself through the waters. He learned how to become a seaman himself. And he would come back and forth from Africa back to the States to get slaves and take them back. There's more to the story. I just don't want to say so much because I don't know if that's factual, but what people had told me, but that's what I do know.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Was there a was there a did you feel there was a legacy of your past that you either had to live up to or live down or stand above or get beyond or was there anything like that? I know I feel that in my past I have a legacy of family that I have to get over, get through, figure out, deal with.
Hmm. Well, a lot of things in my family is just trying to do better than what I always want to give. Like my two girls, I want to give them better than what I've had. I'm not saying what I had was terrible. I learned a lot of values. Working in the yard, uh, saving money, those kind of things. Learning how to when to spend and when not to spend, those kind of things. I learned a lot. And don't get me wrong, I came in the military and I did some things like my credit was bad. And then as when I became a staff sergeant, I'm like, I need to fix my credit because credit is like blood that runs through your veins. It can be the choice of you getting a car for $700 or a choice of getting it for $400. Your credit score is like your life, so you need to protect it. And those are things that I didn't do as a kid. I didn't pay no attention to that, you know. So I learned that all through life.
They say there aren't any atheists in foxholes. Can you share a little bit about your spirituality with us? There's
Well,
something you would say about spirituality?
I always believe in God because without Him, nothing could be possible. I was born Baptist. My grandfather was a preacher. My grandmother, she sang beautifully. If she sang this one song, even though she's God rest her soul, she's been gone for so many years. If she sang this one song, it'll break me down. I mean, I came from a very spiritual and cohesive family on my dad's side. I still have family on my mom's side, even though my mom is gone, because my mom and all her siblings are gone. So from my mom, her mother, and her dad, and everybody else, they're gone on that side. But I still have family on that side, and I still got to get in contact with them to keep in touch with them. Those are the things that I promised myself I need to start doing more of. Because me and my dad's side of the family, we're tight, like super tight. It's just my mom's side of the family. I need to do better. So I know those are certain things in me that I got to fix, and I will fix those things. Very spiritual person because I've seen things that some people say are not possible become possible. That has happened, and I give a testament of my dad, for instance. My dad, he went in the hospital. He came home for the 4th of July. I was at his house at that time, and he complained about chest pains. I took him to the ER, and he had a heart attack. He had to go to another place to get evaluated and all that kind of stuff. And they say, well, if we do a certain procedure on him or put this contrast in him, his kidneys might fail. But they had to do it because he had a heart attack. Because he had stents that had to be put inside his heart. He had blockage. So my sister prayed over him and everything. And they didn't know when he came out of surgery, he had so many they had to put more of this dye in him than expected. And they say it's just a waiting game. My sister prayed and everything. And he's supposed to be in the hospital for like 4 days. Go home. We get a phone call maybe in a couple of hours. I mean, the next day. They're like, your dad ready to get discharged. I'm like, excuse me? Say, yeah, your dad. They said, nobody can understand it. His kidneys are functioning fine. He got his color back. He's got a lot of energy, everything. Then we had 4 or 5 doctors that came in here, and we just don't know what happened. But we know what happened. And that's how I leave it like that. So I am a believer of the man upstairs.
Amen. Well, thanks for sharing, thanks for sharing. Do you feel like you ever thought of a time where you could look back to and feel like, you were carried through a particular time in your life, by the Lord? I know I think of times where it was like, I don't know how I kind of made it through those times, whether it was physically or emotional. Was there a time like that for you?
Oh, yes. There's been times like that. I mean, I remember I was at Fort Hood, and I got my first Article 15, and some people turned their back on me, but I kept my head high and everything, and I kept it going and that kind of stuff, and kept it moving. And like I said, I mean, I ended up from that situation to becoming a first sergeant. So,
What you got to tell me about? I mean, getting Article 15 back in those days was like the death sentence. It's like,
yeah.
oh, he's got an Article 15. What happened?
So what happened? There was 2 instances at one time. The first instance, I was missing from formation from a post recall. I was in my girlfriend's room in her bed sleep. So I had 14 and 14 after that. Then I went the day of that 14 and 14. The last day, my first sergeant let me go out to Belton Lake, was having this kind of soldier thing or whatever. So me and a friend, we drove out there. And we drove out there, and we sat. We had a good couple of times. I mean, we had a good time laughing and joking at Belton Lake and all that kind of stuff. I had one beer, and he had a couple of them. But I, like 2 hours later, we still there. Only had the one beer, and I was eating and all that kind of stuff. So I drove back. There was a car that was in front of me that was real slow. I took and went around the car, and then I broke my speed down, and the MP pulled me over. He asked me all these kind of questions, all stuff. I did not notice there was a beer bottle that my friend left in the car on his passenger side. So they took me in. They blew me.
Oh, wow.
I came up with 0 and all this stuff. So, because of open container in the car. And I didn't rat out my friend. I left it alone because I felt like this. If I got in trouble, there ain't no use for me bringing anybody else in it. That kind of thing. I'm from the old school. Like, hey, if I got caught, there ain't no use saying ratting on everybody else. Hey, I'll go ahead and take the punishment like I need to take it. That's how it is. So, hey. And I got 2 days later, I got 45 and 45.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 45, 45.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. For that incident of having an open container?
Yep.
No way.
My brigade commander was a challenge at that time.
Ouch. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's like zero defect Army, man. You don't mess up. You don't, wow. That's crazy.
I also say that, but Will, I also say this. You have some people that have never messed up. They have no sympathy. For me, I messed up. And even if I did mess up, I still have sympathy because I know people go through situations. They go through troubles. They go through hard times. They go through certain things that, they do certain things that you can't explain it. But they got trying times in their lives. You can sit there and bust them in the head and all that kind of stuff and send them on out the door, or you can get a chance. I had a soldier that he was in jail for 3 months. And he wasn't and the finance kept paying him and all that kind of stuff. So when he finally came back to the unit, he had a no pay due. So I ran down there to the finance office here in El Paso, and I said, look, I got all the documentation saying we've been taking this thing in. He said, well, we can't do nothing. I said, somebody's going to do something today. This soldier's going to have some money in his pocket.
Yeah. I
said, because the necessary paperwork was done, no fault of us, some fault of y'all going to figure this out. Well, we give him partial payment. That's better than nothing. Thank you.
Yeah. That's taking care of soldiers right there.
Yeah, but he left out of air defense. He sent an email to my commander about me and him. He's saying that he became a lieutenant in, I think, the chemical corps, and he wanted to thank us for taking the time to not giving up on him.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's
So,
great. That's great. That's great. So I've really enjoyed hanging out with you. I've laughed and laughed and laughed and told stories, and we need to sign you up for the stand up. Like you're like you're like Jermaine Funny Man Johnson, I think. You're kind of like that guy. I love it. I love it. And yeah, I'm here with First Sergeant retired Frederick Antonio Cuffie, Cuff Dog. And is there what are you doing after your career, in the Army? What is it that you find that you're into? Is there a job that you've taken, or man of leisure, or are you catching fish on the weekends?
well, I've been, just taking it easy. Well, before the pandemic, I was doing a lot of traveling. When the pandemic hit, that kind of took a back seat. Now I'm back out to traveling, that kind of thing. Right now, my daughter, she's graduating out of high school. I'm going down to California for a graduation. But before that, I'm flying at the end of this month because she's going to the prom. I'm going to be the chaperone because I don't want to put some knuckles on somebody's head, with my child.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch
Yeah,
out!
so I go down there and make sure that everything runs smoothly on that situation.
Brag on your kids for me just a minute.
Okay. Well, okay, so my oldest, she's in Quantico, Virginia. She has a job doing work in forensics. She went to the Citadel and graduated out of there, and she didn't want to come into the military, so she wanted to do something with her degree. So her degree is in biology, and she wanted to do stuff in CSI, that kind of thing. So that's where she's at right now. And the youngest, she don't do no sports. She don't do anything. She just do school. But when she graduates, what she wants to do is be a model. So I'm gonna see how that goes. Me and her gonna talk. She want to learn German. She want to learn Japanese. I'm like, I don't know why, but because the main thing is in the States is español. Sí, me gusta. That kind of thing. But we'll see. Like I say, a child could tell you one thing today, and their mind done change 2 or 3 times before they even know it.
Oh yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah, Tavares Garner says Cuff Dog. Yeah. So as we begin to close things up, I want to think about what I love to do. If I could get you to do it, would be to maybe call a unit to attention. Your old battery to attention, and maybe sign out or dismiss them, or I don't know what you might say or do. What do you think about that?
Oh, I could do that.
I love it. So yeah, look, I'll give you the last word. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. Once you do that, I'm going to close with our little slideshow. We'll watch that again and then say goodnight.
Okay. Well, usually I tell my unit is don't beat the dog, don't beat the cat, don't beat the wife. If you got a problem, my safety brief say, hey, you can come call me as first sergeant and all that kind of stuff. Say, don't drink and drive, don't let your drink drive for you. You need to call somebody, come talk to me, and all that kind of stuff. But you have a good weekend, and I'll see y'all Monday. Battalion, attention!
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Toon Sergeant, take charge.
Oh, yay. Oh, Cuff Dog, everybody. Cuff Dog.
Let the
Man, I've had so much fun hanging out with you. Thanks
I
so
did too.
much, man. It's been a blast. We're gonna sign off, everybody.
All right. All right, y'all take it easy. Hey, thanks, Will. Hey, thanks. Sure
Uh,
appreciate it.
Absolutely.